G'day everyone, Jason Haines here once again, QPL Rural, with another look around the Riverina at what's been happening in rural property over the last week. So if you're in the dryland space at the moment, no doubt you're looking for that inch of rain just to firm the season up a little bit. Cotton has started rolling in the west, so we've got that cotton harvest underway at the moment. And no doubt there'll be more and more people going in the next 2 to 3 weeks as well. So if you're in the east, you're probably looking for rain. If you're in the west, you're probably looking for sustained dry conditions. Now, water prices across the Riverina have crept up this week with the continued little dry spell there. And as we get towards the end of that irrigation season, those water prices have moved up as people look to secure that cropping season or the carryover water into next season. So we are looking at quite a solid irrigation season. And no doubt, even at the $70 we're paying on the Murrumbidgee for temporary water, people are taking the opportunity to water up those current winter crops. So new listings and sales this week, they weren't on the market for very long. We announced to the market a little residential block in Miranda and a creek block in Miranda. They've been on the market since Monday this week, but have been very quickly snapped up by investors, both locally and from out of the area. So some very quick sales there on some smaller blocks, and just showing the attraction, I suppose, to our area for people wanting to move into the area for tree changes or investors seeing good value in our patch. So quite encouraging to see. A lot of our buyers on the residential blocks were coming out of Sydney and Melbourne. Okay, now I also want to run over quickly our protein properties, as I'm going to call them. If you're a food producer like we all are, protein is a thing that has certainly taken off in the last few years. I mean, have a look at the cattle prices, sheep prices at the moment. And we've got a number of properties on the books at the moment that are really strong on protein, and it is the way that world food supply is going. We're producing ever and ever more amounts of calories at the moment, but there seems to be a premium on protein. So let's start off talking about our piggery here at the moment. A very good operation, currently sitting on 500 sows with approval to go through to a 700 sow operation. They've got a truckload of pigs going into that market every week, so regular weekly cash flow. And very difficult to find an animal that converts feed into protein more efficiently than the pork industry. So when you're finishing off those pigs, you're talking about around that 2.5 to 2.9 kilos of grain straight into a kilo of pork. So that's a great efficiency. When you're thinking grain at $250 a tonne or 25 cents a kilo, that, say 3 kilos of that or 75 cents can very quickly be converted into over $3 or $3.50 worth of pork. So very good conversion there of grain into pork, and a good opportunity to step in while it's very difficult to trade lambs and difficult to trade beef at the moment. Here's a regular income that you're not trading stock, you're breeding and finishing a regular number of stock each week. Secondly, Wallah down in Victoria there, a good 575 acre property with a great water supply there. Is set up as a dairy at the moment, so but equally capable of producing a good line of beef cattle as a finishing block. So you've got a beef operation or a dairy operation down here as well, and a very reliable production system that again is feeding into both those markets that have been super strong over the last few months. Now the hidden gem on both these, I believe there's actually a great deal of capital depreciation that can be attributed to both these properties. They're both fairly high on infrastructure, whether you're talking the piggery itself or the dairy or the bores or the irrigation outlet. Doesn't matter which of these properties you look at. If you're looking at paying tax this year, there's an opportunity to step into these properties and actually claim your tax depreciation and actually have the tax man help pay for some of this country. So opportunity knocks here, and especially if you're already producing forage and grain, these are great add-on vertical integrations to your existing business. Now talk to us about management. People get worried about who's going to run it for us. Come and have the conversation. Our vendors are happy to transition to a new management team, and we do have contacts there that will step into this space if you want to run them as a separate operation. Now, as always, if you'd like any more information on anything we've mentioned here today, please feel free to give me a call at any time on 0488 594 450. We'll catch up again next week. Cheers.